And so it's right that we hear from him. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the best man. It's Flo!
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, I'd just like to thank Rich. I think you've done a sterling job today, so thanks for all your introductions. So, ladies and gentlemen, Speedy and Clara. For those of you who don't know me, I'm also Craig, I am Speedy's best mate. It is an honour to stand up here today as your best man, and I can't be more happy than to be here with your many friends and family, some of which have travelled far and wide. I believe you travelled from London, Devon, Cornwall, America, Cambodia, and I believe even Australia. It really is amazing how far people will travel for a free meal. I think at this point, before we go on, I'd just like to say I was very fond of Speedy's mother, Rona, his auntie Isabel, and our good friend Harley. And there's other people that can't join us today. And could you all just raise your glass just now and join in a toast to absent friends and family. I'd like to thank you all for being here today. I'd like to thank you all for being here today, and especially those of you who I'd be saying a few words. It's very touching that you still decided to come along. This is the third time I've played the role of best man. The first time was a good few years ago for another good friend of mine and Speedy's. I'm delighted to say that they're still speaking to me, but unfortunately they're not talking to each other. However, the divorce is settled and they've assured me it had nothing to do with me. The second time is for my brother Ian and sister-in-law Becky, who I'm delighted to say have joined us today. So, with a 50% success rate, let's see if we can get this going in the right direction. Now, on behalf of the bridesmaids, I'd like to thank Speedy for his kind words and toast. I'm sure you'll all agree that Jill, Kirsten, Vary, Meredith, Rebecca and Lucy all look lovely and have done a great job. A huge thank you also to the army of groomsmen who have assisted Speedy, and in particular on his entrance, which I'm sure you'll all agree was somewhat unforgettable. When Speedy was offered the chance to have an entrance, there was no doubt in his music choice, other than Arise by Sepultura. As Speedy's dad Brad would say, that music would give your arse a serenade. You look absolutely stunning, and Speedy, you just look a bit stunned. As I say, Clara, you look stunning. It's no wonder he's sitting there looking like the cat that got the cream. Some 19 years ago, next month, Speedy attended my wedding to my beautiful wife Angela, who's sat over there. I remember saying to Speedy, your day will come. He just looked at me as if to say, married? No. Well, but as we all know, Speedy doesn't like change. Hence why it's going to take 19 years for this day to come. You're a few years older, possibly a tiny bit heavier. Nevertheless, there's not a good here in sight. Right in good time. Next, I would like to give the newlyweds the traditional best man's wish for good luck, good health and happiness. And should there be any ups and downs, keep them under the covers, Speedy and I have known each other for over 40 years as we met when starting primary school. We went through school, right through our 20s and 30s, and now into our 40s. And although we've never agreed on absolutely everything, we've never had a crossword. Speedy, you're my best mate, you're a work colleague, and someone I look up to and admire. And it's fair to say, we have a lifelong friendship. When we were young lads, he would often come into Crieff, or I would come out to Gilmerton, and we would hang out together, and we'd always have good crack. Football was always a big thing in the Speedy household, but it was our shared passion for cars, and generally fast ones at that held us together until this day. Going back to the football for a minute, a couple of memories I have of Speedy was we were kicking a ball about in the street in Gilmerton. We were probably about 13 or 14 years of age. One of his neighbours came out and started getting on at us. His name was Braidwood. To be in the picture, he was a small man, well dressed, double brimmed hat, and drove a car that looked a bit like a boatmobile. He was known locally as a total busybody, always interfering. He told us, stop playing football as you could put a dent in my car. So we took his instruction, we wandered back into the house only to be met by Rab. We told Rab what Braidwood had said, and he said, just go back out and enjoy yourselves, it's a lovely day. And in a jovial way, Rab, and probably not expecting us to relay the message, said, tell Braidwood, if he says any more to you, I'll put a dent in his car using his nose. Of course, although it was meant as a joke, sure as anything, we were back out of the ball, Braidwood reappeared, and we delivered the message. I don't think I've ever seen him since. He did apparently reappear some months later. Speedy is a big Rangers man. Touchy subject. His brother Gav, a big Liverpool fan. Another touchy subject. And Gordy, a lifelong Hearts fan like his father Rab.
Oh!
I'll always remember when Gordy was about 8 or 9, John Robertson was Hearts' top player. As Speedy and I were out in the street and we walked past Rab's car, all polished up, we spotted a pin man kicking a football had been inscribed in the bonnet. And there was a slogan below which read, John Robertson is the best. We just looked at each other and thought, oh shit. Just as well your dad was a Hearts fan, Gordy. As I said, Speedy is a lifelong Rangers man. In fact, he's fanatical. So much so that it was a huge relief to see the lovely looking Clara coming down the aisle today, and not Ali McCoy. It is great to be here with Speedy and the love of his life. You'll all have seen his Subaru Impreza I can tell you that about a year ago, we had retired 5 times British rally champion Jimmy McRae in at work picking up a new motorhome. Of course, his late son Colin won the World Rally Championship in a Subaru. Jimmy spotted Speedy's sitting at the back of his garage, so before we knew it, he was in the car, signing the visor, having the crack with Speedy, and it was Subaru. Speedy told Jimmy that there was 3 very important things in his life, and I will tell you, Clara, they weren't in any particular order. Please hear that. One was his Subaru Impreza Spec C, 2 was the Rangers, and 3 was, well, no. And the third one was, guess who? As Jimmy rightly pointed out, well, at least she still made the podium. Our love of fast cars started from an early age, and in our late teens, Speedy drove a particular Ford Sierra 1.6 GL and 863 PPS was the registration. I, like many, will never forget. I had my beloved Ford Capri, and we were fairly well known in the surrounding areas for our consideration to the road traffic laws. We did tend to gain a bit of a reputation, but as you see, we still live to tell the tales, of which there are many. I used to come out of the pub, get in the back of Speedy's car, as he generally wouldn't be drinking, as he tended to drive, but me and the boys would generally be full and say, right Speedy, let's take the tourist route home. So, you've got a picture of the scene, Speedy with his street spiky hair at the time, the San Francisco 49ers jacket on, he was ready to roll. The tourist route usually meant a high-speed run, and I can safely say I don't think to this day another 1.6 area has ever carried such speed. He is not a rugby fan, by any manner of means, but in fact he has scored a try or two. In fact he scored 2. Now I can tell you how. There was no lasting damage done here, by the way, but we jumped in the back of the car after the pub. We headed down Burrell Street in Crieff at about 2 o'clock in the morning. A little over the speed limit. Round the bend at the bottom, and then it was, come on, speed staff. Let's go for it. The local rugby pitch was in sight. As the adrenaline flowed throughout the car, we went through the goal sideways. A couple of donuts in the centre spot, then finished a beautiful sideways move on the other side. 2 tries for the speedster. The rugby boys must have turned up the next day and thought, what the? Anyway, the grass will grow again. Another Saturday night back in the Sierra days, the two of us came out of the local nightclub after a few drinks. And as they began out walking up the road, the first thing we saw was the police transit vans facing us. I said, there's Burnside. For those of you who can remember the bill, this was Burnside's double. As we tried to sneak past, he spotted us. He said, I know you two, you're the one with the Sierra and you're the one with the Capri. He said, I'm going to have the two of you. Filled with the Dutch courage, I said, well, if you want to catch me, you'll need more than a transit van. And if you want to get in, you better get the helicopter out. Get to your bed when there's a plan. We still have a run out these days in our late 40s. But I can assure you, it's true what they say, the older you get, the wiser you get. 2016 proved that when Speedy and I had a couple of kit cars with motorcycle engines in them. Don't ask, we'll grow up one day. Clocked, well, on the open road, coming out of Oban, I glanced down at the speedo and it was over 3 figures. And the sun was shining, it was a day like today, and I thought, this is just wonderful. And the two of us were having great fun. The next thing, there was blue lights going and an undercover car behind us at the junction. Clocked at 93, 3 points later, and £100 fine. I thought that was a gift. I was relieved, massively relieved. Yeah. I looked over at Speedy, with his fiancée by his side, and he had his head in his hands, and I said to the cop that was talking to me, I said, is he getting the same as me? Oh yeah. I said, I went over to see what was wrong. He's a bad loser. He's a very bad loser. He said, what will my mother say? Anyway, if nothing else, it showed the respect that he had for Rabin Ronan. For a period of time, we had motorbikes too. When Speedy got his first bike, his mother, Arona, bless her, was admiring it outside the house when he just brought it home. Rab rolled up. As he walked past, he just said 2 words. Too bad. I think it's fair to say that you weren't a fan, and rightly so. Speedy served his time as a motor mechanic, surprise, surprise, at Crieff Garrick. Hence the connection with cars. Once he completed his apprenticeship, I vaguely remember 5 of us, and I mean vaguely remember, went on a lad's holiday to Tenerife. We partied hard, clubbing every night, and it was boiling hot during the day. We had such a great time, we didn't see much of the sun. He's the only person that came back from Tenerife whiter than It was back to work with us all for a bang. Well, back to work with a bang for us all. As Speedy walked into the garage, his foreman told him, you can take take the engine out of that ASX, that's your first job. Well, that was it. The straw broke the camel's back. He picked up his toolbox and he walked out. The foreman and Hopper said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Enough is enough. I'm out of here." And to this day, he never went back. It's fair to say the holiday blues have got the better of you, but looking back, it worked out fine. Now, in our early 20s, we didn't have flats or our own houses, all we had were our cars. So if you were lucky enough to impress any women, then the car was the only place of privacy. Is it parking they call it? They probably still do it these days, they've done it for decades. Well, I was sat in the passenger seat one night of Speedy's car as he was out getting petrol, because he has a habit of buying lots of it. And I opened the glove box, and sat there was this thing about 10 inches long, was solid, with a bulge on the end of it. So I just shut the glove box. When he got back in the car, I said, "Why have you got a sex toy in your glove box?" He says, "I've not." I said, "You do?" He said, "That's the priest." I said, "Oh, you've even got a name for it." "No, it's a priest for killing my fish." No sign of any fishing rods, no flies, no waders, you name it, just the priest. Anyway, that was his story and he was sticking to it. So, where did it all begin for Clara and Speedy? Well, Clara heard they had a priest in the glove box, and the rest is history, as they say. Only joking. So where did it all begin? Well, as we heard earlier, Clara was working as a young barmaid in the Tower of L&T. And at this point in her life, this was her regular one. And whilst the Zambuca shots were being lined up at the bar, the turbo-tongued speedster was passing over his quick-witted charm. There was clearly some chemistry building between the two of them, and there is no doubt he was besotted. The true romance, however, didn't begin until some years later, in late 2009. Clara was now living in London and working there, developing her career, and Speedy started to visit her on a regular basis, and the romance blossomed. At first, he didn't tell me who he was seeing, but to try and work it out. Because Speedy likes to give you little clues, just be, who do you think, So anyway, one of the clues he said was, well, she's like a vampire. Anyway, that wasn't much help because we all know how much Speedy enjoys dressing up. So here's me expecting God knows who will walk in, and who walks through the door with this elegant, beautiful young lady that I met many years ago in the Tower. From the days he spent visiting Clara in London, he's built up a strong friendship with Clara's friends known as the London Crew, of which many of you are here today. Clara, ever since I met you, I always knew you were a keeper for Speedy. I liked you from the start, as you would laugh at my jokes, although Speedy would smirk. I could tell he was thinking, how many times have I heard that joke? You're beautiful inside and out. Kind, compassionate, genuine, smart and caring. And I've no doubt that my pal here is a very, very lucky man. Now for Speedy's stag do. It's clean, unfortunately. In February 2020, 8 amigos landed in the beautiful city of Madrid. Madrid didn't know what it had it. We had a great few days. Beer flew constantly, as did the banter. We took in an Atletico Madrid match, which was a great experience, and then the highlight being the Carlos Sainz Captain Centre. Young Cameron here very innocently let everyone know over lunch how much the karting meant to Speedy. And should he lose, he would probably fly home anyway. As we got into the karting centre, after a liquid lunch, I remember stepping into the car thinking, I've had 5 pints. I will not disclose the result of the karting, Speedy, as it is your wedding. However, I can tell you it was great to stand on the podium for both races. Let's just say we'll leave it there. It was a great weekend in Madrid, and even up to the flight home we got a great laugh as Speedy, spilling his drinks all over himself, was cracking away the crew. The next thing he's stripping off and turning the aircraft into a Chinese laundry. It was a great weekend, and Speedy has since told me how much it meant to him to have all the lads here. You're all here today, and on behalf of Speedy and myself, thank you for making it a trip to the mountain. Speedy, not only are we best friends, but we've also worked together for some 15 plus years now at Struans, of which you're a valued team leader. I know how much the staff enjoy having to copy your OCD on a daily basis. Not. We have a great relationship in and out of work, and a great laughs over the years, and plenty still to come. Once again, it's been a great honour to be your best man this special day. Once again, you look amazing, and it has been a pleasure to play such a part in your day too. I can tell you that Speedy asked me earlier what's the secret to a good marriage, because you're married 19 years and you seem very solid. I said it's simple. As you go through married life, you're the man of the house, you make all the major decisions. All of them. And after 19 years, I've realised that we've still got to make a major decision in our house, but I'm sure one day it will come. We'd all like to wish you both love, luck, health and happiness as you begin your journey through married life together. Today marks a day that you will never forget, marked with tears and smiles and not an ounce of regret. Never allow unhappiness to breed, always have faith in each other, because it's only love that you will need. And Speedy and I, we were always as young lads great fans of late Scottish comedian Ricky Fulton. We did a sketch called Scotch and Rye, and as Ricky would rightly say, get your seatbelts on, because tonight's going to be one hell of a affair. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can stand and you raise your glasses please, and join me in a toast. The bride and groom, Claire and Craig, the new Mr. and Mrs. Speedy. How about that?